you, Your Honor. May it please the court. First and foremost, as the court is well aware, the last time that we were present before the court for this matter was on December 16th of 2024, at which time Ms. Park entered in a change of plea to the one count of identity fraud, the 5th degree felony. At that time, the matter was then set for sentencing on January 23rd. PSI was ordered, and she did submit to a urinalysis. Counsel was subsequently notified that urinalysis produced a positive result. At that point, a warrant was issued, and I did not, unfortunately, have any further communication with Ms. Park. Your Honor, she is not trying to deflect. She's not trying to minimize. She understands that she left, and she didn't come back, and it was radio silence. There was nothing further. She can't also hide the fact that she did have illegal drug substances in her system. That's something that, you know, it happened. She had it. She should have hit the nail with the hammer head on and dealt with it at that point instead of not dealing with it, but unfortunately she didn't, and we're here today after almost close to a year later from the last time that we were present before you on this matter. She's obviously, you know, using substances. There's issues going on there that she needs some assistance with. She from at least from the get-go, in terms of her acceptance of responsibility for the identity fraud for using her sister's information, she's not going to shy away from that. This whole issue spiraled out of the fact that her driver's license was suspended. She didn't take care of what she needed to do, which was really a minor, minuscule thing that just kind of, the longer it went, the deeper the hole got, the more she fell into it, which led her into this mess with the identity fraud. So as far as that issue goes, Your Honor, she's not going to shy away from the fact that she used her sister's information. She knew it. She shouldn't have done it. She did it. But again, there's a lot more that spiraled out of that being, you know, the fact that she tested positive, the fact that we're here today almost a year later on this issue. She's been sitting in the jail for 173 days. I think that's been a lot of time for her to get clean, to reflect, and then to understand that actions have consequences. She advised me, open and honest, that yes, she acknowledges she did test positive. If the court would be so inclined as to consider allowing her to participate in some type of a treatment plan. I've had some conversations with her about the fact that if the court would be so inclined to do that it would likely be inpatient, something she would be transported to. I don't think that she has any hesitation with regards to that, because again, you know, she understands that in order for her to be able to succeed, in order for her to truly show the fact that she's serious, that she is accepting responsibility, she needs to get herself 100% on track, meaning she needs to get herself clean and sober. So with respect to the request, the court would consider, you know, allowing her the credit for the 173 days that she's been in jail, and then if the court would be so inclined as to in order perhaps like an inpatient treatment facility for her to go to so she can continue to get clean. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, what do you want to say?
Your Honor, I was trying to do the right thing and turn myself in last year for the trouble I got myself into. If I knew then what I knew now, how much farther this would have dragged on from these petty traffic violations and using my sister's information, I could have just let the car get impounded and taken it from there, because I never imagined that I would be sitting here in felony court, a convicted felon, over this. I am remorseful for it. I'm lucky my sister didn't press charges.
What do you mean over this? What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Never imagined you'd be a convicted felon over this. Over what?
The traffic violations like spiraled into this. from the original charges.
Well, why did the traffic violation spiral into this?
It was just a matter of driving under suspension and using my sister's identification to get myself out of the trouble.
Why were
right
you,
then.
why were you driving under suspension?
Well, I was unaware for like over 2 years that my license was even suspended, and it only was suspended because it had expired.
Okay, well, were you aware of that when you used your sister's name?
That it was suspended, I wasn't sure. That's why I did.
Okay. Why was it suspended?
I had just let it expire.
Well, no, then that isn't what suspends it. Then you would have been getting a citation for driving on an expired license.
I had switched
Not- 'cause
addresses
you
and I
weren't
didn't
under-
get, I
'Cause
didn't
you
get
weren't
any
under
information.
suspension.
I'm sorry.
You weren't under suspension because the time period lapsed. I mean, where does this all stem from? Where does all your trouble stem from? Do you know? What's the cause of all of your problems?
I mean, my substance abuse probably is a lot of it.
Probably?
Yeah.
Well, then why did you tell the evaluator you didn't think you needed treatment?
That I didn't need treatment.
Right. Why did you say that? That was a couple weeks ago. Why did you say that?
Well, I've sat in jail for 6 months. I just assumed that I would probably get probation and time served for that time.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when she was evaluating you for the drug and alcohol evaluation.
Are you talking about Kim or the Lake Geauga?
Lake Geauga.
I mean, she was the one who actually said that she didn't think I needed treatment.
Nah,
She was
didn't.
suggested IOP.
So she specifically inquired with you if you felt there's any mental health or substance use treatment that you may benefit from. And you said, I don't think I need any treatment. I just want to go home to my family. That's what you said.
Okay, I don't recall exactly saying that, because I did tell her that I would benefit from some mental evaluation because I had been diagnosed with minor depression and anxiety and hadn't been on that medication since 2022.
How long have you been playing around with drugs?
How long? I mean, I don't use a lot of drugs. I've dabbled in drugs off and on probably
What does
since
that mean? What do you mean dabbled?
like I've recreationally used cocaine
What
off
is
and
recreational use?
on. Like socially. Like I don't buy it. Like socially, like if
Where do
people
you get it?
I mean I get it from other people. I don't buy it.
They just give away drugs?
No, but when I'm out at, parties or bars or wherever with people, that's when.
So you don't
I've
have
never been in trouble for drugs, or I don't
So
have
you don't have a
criminal
drug
record.
habit, you just use whenever you wanna use and don't use whenever you don't wanna use?
Well, there's definitely been long periods of time where I haven't used, yes.
So when you were here in December and pled guilty, is that when the first test was, Kim?
The first test, Your Honor, was at the time of her referral on
Right.
December 16th.
Okay. And on December 16th, you were positive for marijuana, cocaine, and opiates.
Mhm.
So that was just as a result of recreational use?
Right, the cocaine and the marijuana, the opiates, that's when my left leg was broken when I was here at that time for PSI. I was prescribed those from Lake West.
How does that stuff mixes pretty good with the cocaine and the marijuana, the prescribed opiates? maybe?
Does it mix well? Is that what
Yeah.
No.
If you were taking opiates, if you were taking prescription opiates, why were you mixing it with cocaine and marijuana?
I think I had already used the cocaine and marijuana when that had happened.
When?
When I broke my leg and was prescribed the pain medication.
So within 3 days of when you were here pleading, you were using cocaine?
I'm not sure because it was a year ago, but I
Yeah,
literally had
I'm
just,
sure, because it would have been within 3 days.
I had broke my leg and had came here like the very next day or 2 days later from Lake West. I had an air cast on, but I couldn't go get a permanent cast on because I didn't have a valid ID
Okay,
or insurance.
okay. On May 19th, you were positive that's when you got caught. Because you didn't show up, right?
Right.
You just took off because you didn't want to come, or what?
No, it wasn't that I didn't want to come. I was in between the places I was living at and my leg was broke. I was trying to take care of that. I didn't want to come to jail without having a cast put on it, but I couldn't get a cast put on it. It just, like I said, it just
So you just
spiraled up.
disappeared for 5 months.
I didn't even know anybody was looking for me.
Now,
5 months.
how is it, you were told when you were here December 16th, when you were over in probation, you were given an appointment to come back to complete your interview, right?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Okay, well, let's take a look. I'm sure, but let me just say what you said. You were given, when you went over there on the 16th of December, you were given some papers to fill out. And one of the things that you were to fill out was your written version of what occurred with this offense. And you put, "Will explain and write out when I return on December 30. So your appointment to come back was December 30. You knew that because you wrote that. And you specifically did not come back on December 30. Did you say to the probation officer that, look, can I come back some other time because I got my leg broken thing and I want to get that taken care of? Can I come back at a different time? You didn't
I should have said that. I'm not
Right,
sure
you
if I did
didn't.
or not.
Okay, you
Okay.
just took off, okay? You took off knowing that you had taken drugs and were gonna test positive, so that's kind of probably why you didn't come back, okay?
I don't remember not
You
coming
know,
back
I
to the
remember.
appointment. I just remember that it was sentencing.
You
That's
don't remember a lot of things, okay? That's what prolonged drug use will do, is you start to forget a lot of stuff, okay? So, how is it that you came back on May 19th?
How did I come back on May 19th
Yeah,
to jail?
yeah,
I was arrested for driving under suspension.
okay. So you didn't turn yourself in.
No, I already did that last year.
You did what last year?
Turned myself in.
Okay. After you took off and didn't show up in December of '24, you didn't turn yourself in.
Last year after April, I turned myself in for these charges.
Okay. So you test positive on May 19th for amphetamine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl, right?
Right.
Okay, you were just recreationally using methamphetamine?
I don't know why the fentanyl and methamphetamine is in there. I've
What?
only recreationally used cocaine.
Well, there was no positive test for cocaine. There was a positive test for amphetamine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl.
I can't explain that.
Well, I can explain it. You want me to explain it? Do you want me to explain it? Do you want me to explain it?
Sure.
You took meth and there was fentanyl in it. That's the explanation. So you like to use meth, you like to use pot, you like to use cocaine, and you don't have a problem because you've been sitting over here for the better part of 6 months and have kicked the habit, because you only use it recreationally. Is that what you're telling me? Well, I mean, if I'm boring you, we can just dispense with this and I could send you to prison. I mean, is that?
No, sir.
Okay. So what do you want me to do with you?
I mean, I'm definitely willing to go to any treatment, inpatient. I never told anybody that I spoke with that I was objected to it.
Okay, well, you did, but, because that's what she put in her report. Where do you live?
I live in Eastlake.
Where at?
Where at? With who, you mean?
What's the address?
34200 Lakeshore.
Who do you live there with?
My mother.
You got 2 kids?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Where's my sister?
Both of them?
Yes.
Where's the sister whose name you were using?
Yes.
Where does she live?
She lives in Eastlake also.
Why does she have your kids?
Why does she have them?
Yeah.
She's had them since, actually before, February last year,
February of '24?
or 23.
She's had them since February. Why has she had them since February of '23?
My kids, got removed from the home, when my husband was indicted for, involuntary manslaughter charges for Geauga County.
And where is he now?
He's in prison.
Did you know that, Kim?
I did not know that. She did not tell me that her husband
What?
was in prison.
Why didn't you tell Kim that when she interviewed you?
I haven't spoke to him. I don't talk to him.
Okay. You didn't think that that was an important thing to tell Kim?
I've had so many things on my mind, Your Honor. It just wasn't brought up. Like I said,
Well, it was brought up because
I don't
the
speak to him.
information I have is that you were married to Joshua Park in October of 2019, and together you have 1 child. Adeline Park is 6 years old and resides in Eastlake with your sister. So you didn't think it was important? No? Okay.
I just agreed to the information that she repeated on that paper.
What?
I just agreed to the information that she was repeating on that paper. I didn't add any information.
She told you you were married to Joshua Park in October 19 and you agreed to that?
Yes, she had it written down on a form that I had filled out, so she just was reiterating what I had already read. I agreed to, yes, I wrote that. Yes, that's true. I just didn't add any other further information.
What else is there that you haven't told anybody that you think might be important in this process? Nothing?
I'm not sure.
Why do you keep driving around without a license?
I try not to.
I know, why do you do it?
I don't know, Your
For what purpose do you feel the need to drive? Do you need to get to work or what?
Honor. In the past, yes, it was
Well, you haven't worked for 4 years, so what else? And so on May 19th, when you were driving, where were you going?
Where was I going? I was on the freeway. I was driving a friend home.
From where?
Willowick.
What were you doing in Willowick?
I'm not sure what I was doing in Willowick that day.
No, you know?
I think I left Planet Fitness that day.
Okay. So on this offense that you're here for now, you used your sister's name, right?
I'm sorry.
On this offense that you're here for right now, the identity fraud was for using your sister's name, correct?
Right.
That was in May of '23. In December of '23, you did an obstructing official business, and once again, you used your sister's name, right? And then in, April of '25, you get an obstructing official business using your sister's name, right?
Yes.
So you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Why do you think that is?
I was just avoiding getting caught going to jail.
Yet
Pretty much.
here you are. Kim, do you know, I'm looking at page 12 and 13. On the traffic record, she's got 2 OVIs in '09, 2 months apart,
Yes.
and then 5 citations. From July of '15 through December of '23.
Okay.
So, do you know what her suspension is from?
Well, I was looking at that, Your Honor, while you were discussing that. It shows her status as suspended, and when I looked up all of those traffic offenses, it was like fine and court cost after those dates.
Right.
On the front page of the leads, it shows that her license expired on 11/26 of '22.
Uh-huh.
But then it shows her status as suspended, so I'm honestly not sure because I could look up the last of those and see if warrant or anything out for any of those traffic violations afterwards.
Okay. Why haven't you worked in the last 4 years?
I stayed at home until my husband went to prison and we lost our house in Menor.
Okay. Well, that doesn't really answer the question, though.
I haven't been able to get a job with no identification,
Why don't you have identification?
because when I moved, I didn't have the proper documents or paperwork I needed to get another ID. I couldn't get a job anywhere. I did apply for a few jobs, but I couldn't get a job because my license was expired. The ID itself was expired. And I couldn't get a replacement because I didn't have the proper documents I needed at the license bureau to get that stuff.
So you're never gonna get a license?
I sure hope so. I would like to.
Well, you gotta put forth a little effort.
It's just at that time, everything was happening, just boom, 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 and I went from my Menor address. I wasn't living back yet at my mom's. I didn't have mail coming there, the correct documents I needed in order to get that. I did try.
Well, you probably didn't. You were probably more concerned with doing drugs than getting your act together, quite frankly. Ms. Bell?
Thank you, Your Honor. I had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence report in this case, and I have several concerns. The defendant violated her bond by testing positive those 2 times, as we discussed. She also picked up 4 new cases since this incident. I question her veracity as she sits here in court today. I question whether she actually wants to get clean. In light of all that, I question whether she is actually amenable to community control sanctions. However, if the court does find that she is amenable, the state recommends community control to include JTP or other form of treatment. Thank you.
No other concerns? Okay, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the drug and alcohol evaluation. Consider what you have said, what counsel has said, considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. We'll put you on community control for 4 years. You're gonna serve 218 days in jail with credit for 173 the last 30 days. You're gonna be in the jail treatment program, complete it and follow all the recommendations. You're to have no drugs or alcohol and you'll be screened. You're to attend at least 3 AA or NA meetings a week and obtain a sponsor. You are to see only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any prescription medication. You're to take any medication that is prescribed only as it's prescribed. You're gonna sign releases so probation can get your records. You're gonna get a mental health evaluation. You follow all the recommendations. You're gonna get a valid driver's license, obtain and maintain full employment, and pay the cost and supervision fees. Anything else, Ms. Randallson?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand all the terms?
Yes, sir.
Any question about the terms?
No.
If you violate the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control. If I find you violated, then you will go to prison for 12 months. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the problem here is that I don't think you're all very much invested in any of this. I think that you think that you don't have any problem, that you don't need any treatment, that you don't want any treatment, and my guess is you're gonna half-ass it when you go to treatment and when you go to your evaluation, but that's up to you. If you do what you're supposed to do, then you'll come out okay. If you don't, then I'll see you again. Anything else, Ms. Bell?
Nothing